Hill misses. Rebound goes to the Cavs. J.R. Smith brings it back out. Throws it to Hill. Hill shot blocked. You get the feeling J.R. Smith thought they had the lead.
He didn't know the score. I think exactly. That's a bad mistake by J.R. Smith.
This is J.R. Smith. No, not him. That's LeBron James. Have you even watched basketball before? Let's try that again. This is J.R. Smith. One of the most fun-loving, silly, and albeit unfocused players in the National Basketball League. Smith is known for his ill-advised shot-taking, affection for the Devil's lettuce, and one of the most boneheaded plays in NBA history that spawned some unforgettable memes. This is my personal favorite for all of you wondering at home. Today, we're not here to talk about any of that. Instead, we'll discuss JR, former Cavs assistant coach Damon Jones, this delicious-looking bowl of soup, and how the three will forever be linked in the wackiest suspension in sports history. This information is best served hot. Welcome to Timeout. The 2017-18 season was a tumultuous one for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Looking to avenge the previous year's 5-game finals loss to the Golden State Warriors, the Cavs had big expectations for the year that would follow, until star point guard Kyrie Irving put a dagger in all of that. Get it? Like dagger? No? Okay, I'll see myself out. Tired of playing second fiddle to LeBron James, Kyrie requested a trade out of Cleveland. He was given just that on August 30th, 2017, where he would be shipped to the Boston Celtics for a package highlighted by Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, and draft picks. The loss of Irving was apparent from the get-go. Cleveland struggled out the gate and sat at third place in the East at 31-22 at the trade deadline, a mediocre record for a team that had finished top 2 in the East since the Kings returned to Cleveland. Their defense was an obvious Achilles heel, allowing over 110 points per game, the highest mark in the Eastern Conference. Meanwhile, Isaiah was doing little to fill the Uncle Drew-sized gap at point guard. While he had been sidelined for the majority of the season with a hip injury, when he was healthy he didn't seem to fit in with the Cavs offense, and his 5'9" frame left much to be desired on the defensive end. While it was still early in the marriage, the situation seemed unsalvageable. On February 8th, 2018, the Cleveland Cavs made not one, not two, but 3 significant trades on deadline day. When it was all said and done, they had swapped IT, another piece for the Irving trade in Jay Crowder, Dwayne Wade, Channing Frye, Iman Shumpert, and Derrick Rose for Rodney Hood, Larry Nance Jr., George Hill, and Jordan Clarkson. Among those traded were members of the 2016 championship team, established veterans, and even LeBron's best friend and NBA legend D. Wade. So you know who wasn't traded, but, probably should have been? That's right, you guessed it, my man, J.R. Swish. Don't worry, JR. We haven't forgotten about you. We will get to your soupy situation in just a minute. The new look Cavs took down Boston in their first game together, with pieces Hill, Hood, Nance, and Clarkson all making significant contributions. From that point, the reloaded roster looked to be primed for a big run. Which brings us to March 1st, 2018. J.R. Smith is handed a 1-game suspension. While people are curious about what prompted it, it doesn't get much press until the next day. Friday, March 2nd, ESPN reports that Smith had thrown a bowl of soup at Cavs assistant coach Damon Jones. Let me just say that again for those in the back. A 32-year-old professional basketball player threw a bowl of soup at a grown man who happened to have been his assistant coach. The sheer absurdity of it all makes it seem too good to be true. I mean, this is a situation straight out of a sitcom. Once the public got wind, there were questions upon questions being asked. What type of soup was it? How hot was the soup? Was it just the soup or the soup with the bowl? Luckily for us, in the year and a half since the incident, we've gotten some answers. Here's what we know. The soup was of the chicken tortilla variety. While it's a traditional Mexican dish, no one knows of its exact origin. Its Spanish name is sopa azteca, which translates to soup of the Aztecs, suggesting that it was first produced somewhere in Mexico, where the Aztecs settled around the 13th century. The soup is traditionally composed of tomatoes, onion, chili, cilantro, chicken stock, avocado, shredded chicken, tortilla chips, lime, and queso fresco. In an interview with David Jacoby a year after the incident, Damon Jones revealed that not only was the soup blazing, but it was the first bowl out of the pot.
Damn, JR, it's pretty cold. Like, figuratively speaking, of course, because soup is friggin' hot.
In that same interview, Jones revealed that Smith threw both the soup and the bowl at him. Fortunately for both parties, Jones was hit in the shoulder rather than the head. The million-dollar question that remains unanswered to this day is what the hell prompted this whole thing? JR and Jones have done a pretty good job keeping quiet on the subject. Jones cited a difference in opinion as the culprit, while Smith managed to say even less.
How much can you tell us about what happened, JR, from the other day?
Nothing.
Scintillating stuff, Mr. Smith.
ESPN analyst and future Hall of Famer Paul Pierce suggested that maybe Jones said something slick. Maybe. But then Pierce went as far as defending Smith on NBA Countdown, saying things like he probably just doesn't respect Damon Jones, that there are worse things to be thrown, and that we don't know the other side.
Maybe, just maybe, hear me out here, JR and Pierce have a point. Could this be the end-all solution to life's greatest problems?
Professor gives you a bad grade on a paper? Throw a bowl of soup at him. Boss makes you stay late? Throw a bowl of soup at him. Someone brings a crying baby into the movie theater. Well, I don't know what type of movie theater would sell soup, so maybe popcorn is the move? You get the point.
I mean, it makes total sense to me. I can't imagine why no one's thought of this earlier.
After the snafu, Damon Jones claimed that he and JR didn't talk for 3 whole months. We're not sure how valid that statement is, especially since Jones then claimed they made up after the second half of a back-to-back in Philadelphia, which would have only been a little over a month after the incident. Either way, not ideal. JR served his 1-game suspension, and the Cavs finished the regular season as the 4 seed in the East. They struggled in the first round against a decent young Pacers team, finally putting them away in Game 7. They silenced doubters during the next 2 series, sweeping a very good Toronto Raptors team, then taking down the number 1 seeded Celtics in a 7-game Eastern Conference final. All while old friend Kyrie Irving rode the bench with a knee injury. For the 4th year in a row, the Cleveland Cavaliers would face the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. It was time to get revenge for 2017. The Cavs found themselves in a great position to take a 1-0 series lead, but then, once again, J.R. Smith made national headlines for the wrong reasons, and Cleveland lost in overtime. It was a loss so deflating that Cleveland would never recover, losing the next 3 games as Golden State completed a 4-game sweep for their 3rd title in 4 years. About a month later, it was all blown up, as King James left Cleveland once again for greener pastures, this time taking up residency in Southern California. Without LeBron at the helm, the Cavaliers fell apart. Damon Jones was fired along with Ty Lue in late October 2018. J.R. Smith played his final game with the Cavs about a month later before being benched for the rest of the season for accusing the organization of tanking, which, judging by their 19-63 record come season's end, might have been onto something.
But at the end of the day, none of it mattered. Whether it was related or coincidental, here are the facts. Less than 1 year after the soup throw heard round the world, both J.R. Smith and Damon Jones are out of basketball, which just goes to show you, Mom was always right. Don't play with your food. Hey guys, thanks for watching the inaugural episode of Timeout. We've got a lot more content on the way. Excited to show you guys what we have in store. If you liked this, don't forget to hit subscribe and like. And if you didn't enjoy it, then why not hit those buttons anyway? Life is short.